Before we start, I should say that I'm Marcus Wilson. I'm here with my colleagues Paul and Mads from Pooka Co. We're just one of the agencies who support and service CiviCRM users across the UK and beyond. So we're hosting this event, but it's not a Pooka event, it is a CiviCRM event, and there'll be developers, users, other agencies involved as well. So we're just here really to bring people together. So as a community, we can support each other. Everyone's using CiviCRM in a slightly different way. It's a very big system, lots of extensions and lots of ways you can integrate it with other systems. So we're always on the lookout for stories, hear how people are using Civi.
So we're talking about gift aid. I'm not going to go into all of the nitty-gritty about gift aid, when it is eligible, when it isn't, and the requirements for that. I mean, you'll need to get your expert advice on that, but I can talk about how that works and how that sort of translates into CiviCRM and how it's useful. So it's kind of two primary, there are two extensions that exist for CiviCRM. So the first one is UK gift aid extension, and that does all sorts of things to create gift aid declarations and mark things as eligible contributions and generally handle all of the moving parts of that. And then there's a second extension as well that requires the first extension, but then enables you to connect your Charities Online account so that you can submit your gift aid claims directly through CiviCRM to HMRC. And then the next thing you know, you've got the money in your organisation's bank account, so it's very handy when that's up and running and working. So a really brief description. I was trying to think of the briefest description possible of gift aid without, landing in hot water or suddenly, having to add loads of caveats. It's basically, it allows charities to claim 25% on top of donation, or, well, I say donation, already running into trouble there, an eligible contribution, but essentially a donation from an eligible donor. So, that's someone who is a UK taxpayer, etc., etc. There are lots of other caveats to add to that. But for the purposes of what we're going to look at just now, we're going to assume that these are eligible contributions and it's an eligible UK taxpayer who's completing a gift aid declaration. The first extension that we look at that does pretty much everything is the UK gift aid extension. And when you install that, it creates some custom fields. So that's just enables you to collect a gift aid declaration. And that means that the person who's making a donation can say, yeah, okay, please gift aid. But it also allows you to configure what your organisation, on a very broad level, considers to be an eligible financial type. So jump into my screen share here. We see that we've got some extra settings here once we have the extension installed. So look at the settings. Out of the box, it will say enable gift aid declarations of any financial type. That's saying actually that's you might have an overall financial type. The way this is handles contributions is that it might say that this is actually a donation, but you might actually have things that aren't a donation within that. It's just the way that it likes to categorize things. Your main contribution and then line items within it that might be a different financial type. I'm aware that I'm waffling slightly on that, but that is a definition within CiviCRM. You don't need to know about it though. Enable financial types or that are eligible for gift aid. Out of the box it says a donation, but you may well be, for example, a membership organisation where your memberships are eligible for gift aid as well, in which case you might want to also add member dues, but actually, depending on your organisation, might not be applicable. And if you're using campaign contributions as a financial type or any other custom financial types that you have configured, then you might want to include those as well. Campaign contribution may well just be another type of donation, so you might want to include it there as well. So that's how we can kind of set what is considered as potentially eligible for gift aid when we start collecting our contributions. The other thing that it does, as well as creating the custom fields to kind of say this is a contribution that's eligible for gift aid, it has fields that tells it that, but also it creates all of the fields relating to the actual gift aid declaration itself, and then provides you with a profile, which in CiviCRM suggests it's named for a collection of fields that are used for all sorts of things, but in this situation, it's just collecting information in a form, because what we want to do is be able to attach a gift aid declaration to our public-facing contribution forms, so that if you're taking a membership or a donation, we have a gift aid declaration that appears on the same screen. You can complete that, and that hooks into our whole process. So what I've done is I've actually gone ahead and created a contribution page with a gift aid option. So I'll just very quickly go through the profiles I've included in that. If you haven't had much to do with creating contribution pages, the really exciting bit is always what profiles you want to include in that. So I'll skip straight ahead to that. I've decided that in this scenario, and in fact, if I open this up in another tab as a test drive contribution, that means that you can just see how this will look to the user. It might be a bit easier to show. For making a donation, I've decided that we need to collect all of this different information here. So it's your first name, last name, email address, street address, so on and so forth. The reason I'm showing you this is because out of the box, your gift aid declaration actually includes all of those fields for your name, your address, and everything else that it needs in order to function. But if you've already got all of those things in your contribution form, you can make a copy of that profile and remove those things, because it will take them from the form. There's no point in frustrating your users by asking people for things twice. And I'm very aware of the fact that, having said that, I've got this billing name and address, which is all feeding through from the user information above. That's simply because I'm using a test payment processor. If I was using this on a live site, then would make that much nicer. But I just wanted to show you that it's quite a nice step to remove the address field. So I've called that no address fields. And the way that I've done that is within the configuration. I've just copied the declaration and then simply deleted them from the list. So I'm just going to make a test contribution and show you how this appears. Just to mention that all of this text here is kind of the template text that's provided by the extension, and you will want to review that. As with everything, here's the caveat: make sure that is suitable for your needs and your purposes. But it does provide a little bit of text. Option to read more about gift aid, but ultimately 3 questions. Can we reclaim gift aid on your donation? Yes, and for donations made in the past 4 years. Yes, today and in the future, or no, you can't. So that is what will be recorded on our gift aid declaration. So I'm going to fill in some information here. Remember what our test card details are. Let's pretend this is all the same. That should be enough information in Edinburgh and Aberdeen City for the purposes of this. So I'll create my contribution. Oh, and yes, the required field. Great, it's all been successfully processed. So you can see I've got my confirmation here as well. So I'm going to go and take a look at the actual record that has created. If I can expand as well. And as part of the extension being installed, it's actually created, these are all the custom fields I was talking about that collect all of the stuff that we need for the declaration, and it keeps it on a separate tab on the membership on the contact record as well. So this is what's come through from our contribution page, and it's recorded as the source. It's make a donation with gift aid option, which is why I call the contribution page. So that's where that came from. It's automatically pulled the address through from the fields that we had, connected to contact records, and the postcode as well. So we've got a start date. You can actually have one gift aid declaration active at a time. There are some quite complicated rules about how this part of the extension will actually behave where you have more than one declaration. So if you see anything strange there, I'm not going to go into all of that, but it's all documented there about when something will end, when it will begin, and so on and so forth. But basically, this is governing what CiviCRM is looking for in order to consider something as an active declaration. So that's quite useful. You can delete them, and you can create new ones. So if you didn't have a declaration, if someone had filled in a form and sent it to you, if you wanted to scan that and attach that as your, because ultimately this is your record, or HMRC, if they come knocking and say, right, okay, we want to take a look at things, or as part of an audit or an external examination or anything like that, these are your financial records. So this is all of your backup to say, yeah, we got a yes from this person. So you're able to update a scanned declaration, upload a scanned declaration and attach that, add any notes, and if contact tells you that they don't want to, they want to cancel the declaration, or HMRC comes back and says this has been declined, I'd be interested to hear how often that's happened to anybody, but there is the option to update that here as well. Another thing that is worth considering is the fact that a verbal gift aid declaration is valid as well, but you might want to record that here, and in which case it's useful to kind of record exactly what wording was read to somebody. You might want to include some of that, some custom fields in and around this stream, but the important thing there, if you've gotten a verbal gift aid declaration from someone in person or over the phone or anything else, is that you should be able to evidence that. So a useful way of doing that is just send them an email. And so I've configured, just here, you go into your send an email, I've configured a message template in here, which is a gift aid declaration confirmation. It's very, very rudimentary, but our subject, thanks for your gift aid declaration, uses all of our tokens to kind of populate everything that we've collected there. So it says, thanks for making a gift aid declaration over the phone today, your records, here's the details that you gave us. So it's the first name, the last name, the address, and then the declaration wording that was captured at the time. You can add that into your template. And if you wanted to add any information about the donation itself or anything else that is useful for the organisation to be capturing there that you'd normally expect to share, that's just a really good way of making sure that you can capture those declarations if you're taking donations over the phone or anything like that at all. So we find that quite a handy mechanism as well. So that's one way of doing that. So now we've got contribution, we've got declaration set up, and we probably want to do something with that. So in order to find these contributions, we come to our find contribution menu, and with the extension installed, we've now got this nice big blue bit at the bottom that says gift aid. And nothing's in a batch at the moment, we just created this contribution, but I'm going to find everything that is eligible for gift aid. So if we remember that, for some reason I'm not eligible for gift aid with my donation. Why is that?
In a test. Is it in a test?
I should still be in there unless I've said it's not a test. Is this a test? No. Yes, it is a test. There we are. Thank you, Marcus. So now we have just one contribution that fits the bill here. And this is where we say we want to add it to a gift aid batch. So we're going to do that. And it will immediately assess everything that we've selected. I know it's just one at the moment, so it's not the most informative thing. But it will say, right, this is the number of contributions that you've selected that will be added to this batch. It's one contribution, and it passes all of the tests, so it says, yeah, that's fine, we're going to add that. But if it's already in a batch, if you have another gift aid batch that's already in, so for example, if it's already been submitted, you can't accidentally resubmit or a claim for a contribution, so it will keep a record of that. And the number of contributions that aren't valid for gift aid. So for example, either there's no declaration that's been completed, or it's of a type that we've configured or not configured as being automatically eligible. So that's quite a nice just kind of catch. Make sure that you know, as far as you're confident in everything that you've set up, it will keep things out. So I'm going to say this is a batch for my subscription. I'm going to add this to a batch. And yeah, great, it's been added to a batch. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to come into the gift aid report that's been created by the extension. It's been configured to pick things up. I've created a batch previously, so I've got gift aid batch 1 and gift aid batch 2 that are sitting here. And because my filters, I believe, will say, yeah, it's not preventing me from, rather it's not filtering to a particular batch. And there's only one gift aid contribution in each one. So if I just change the filter there to view whichever batch we look at. So this is kind of the end of the UK gift aid extension. We've gone through all of the checks and balances to say these are the contributions that you want to include in our claim to HMRC. So what you would do is export this to CSV, and that is now formatted in a way that you can that's compatible with the portal if you're doing a kind of spreadsheet-based claim from HMRC. So you'll be able to export that and then use that. So if that was a whole load of contributions that you had, you know, you shouldn't have any issues with that. That enables you to do that. If you were using the online submission method, I'll show the additional sense for that here. We're not charity, so we don't have these online gift aid submission details, but this is everything that you need to fill in. It's provided through your Charities Online account, so you need to come in and spend a bit of time making sure that this is all populated correctly. But this is the bit that connects you to HMRC and their portal, so they would send that directly. So we don't have that in place. So I'm going to show you the next step from some screenshots from an organisation that's all been anonymised. So you won't see any personal information, but it is from an organisation that I work with. So the first thing that you would see when you go to view this online gift aid submission button here, which will tell us that we don't have anything to look at. So that opens this. Is that legible to folk? Do I need to zoom in a little bit, or is that okay?
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So this is our, this is the online submission screen. So this would say, this is your batch, it's gift aid batch, tra-la-la. In this case, it would say gift aid batch 1 or 2, because that's what we've been looking at. Give you the date that it was created, the total,
Can we zoom in a bit more?
yes, of course, the total contributions. Is that better? Is that a little better? Yeah, okay. So yes, just a summary of everything that we've already seen. But you get these two actions here. So one is to validate, and one is to view the rejection report. So at this stage, you're saying, is this going to be all right, HMRC? You're going to tell me that the addresses are all formatted horribly or anything like that? So it's just a check before you submit this. So you need to do your validation check. And when you do that, that's when you hit this bit. And I renamed this so that it's more obvious, but this is your rejection report. So it would say, this is their name, this is their last name, and this is the reason that it's been rejected. So the address data is invalid. So that can be a bit fun sometimes, going in and tracking these issues, but at least it tells you exactly what the problem is, and gives you a link directly to their contact record or contribution as well. And if you really just can't see what's going on, you might have maybe 2 or 3 that are just, we'll deal with that at a later point. You can just remove them from the batch, and that means that you're able to proceed and submit that to HMRC. So once you are getting nothing on this rejection report, on your validation report, you'd say, all right, nice one. Back to our online submission, and it says not yet submitted. Instead of validate, say, right, cool, let's submit this. And you wait a moment, and it tells you to wait a moment. And then you say, can you just update me on this, please? And it says, yeah, sure. And then it draws through a message saying, nice one, that's fine, that's been submitted. And whoever the person is that you've configured in your online submission, it's your Charities Online account here, will receive an email saying, we are HMRC, we've received your thing. And that's always a nice thing to receive. And the next thing you know, the money will appear in your bank account. And that's, it's really easy. I don't know if anyone has any experience with using that in different ways. If anyone has any questions about that workflow or anything that they do differently, or any issues that they have with that, but
yes, well, thank you, Mads. While people are thinking of questions, it's probably worth saying that these 2 extensions are bolt-ons to CiviCRM, so they're not in CiviCRM core. You have to add a couple of extensions for this. So the ones Mads has been talking about are the UK Gift Aid extension, and then the UK Gift Aid Online Submission extension, and that does the whole workflow, the whole part of those journeys that we've been talking about. It's worth saying thank you to the maintainers of those plugins these days, Matthew Wire and Artful Robot, aka Rich Lott, the main maintainers of those 2 plugins, the CiviCRM community. So thank you to them. If you've used any plugins, their names will probably be familiar to you in CiviCRM world. Gift aid is a very specialist subject, of course, so I thought we could do something that might apply to a few more people who are here. Mads, if you don't mind continuing to drive, I'm just going to do a short talk about tag sets in CiviCRM, because this is something that I've been working with quite a lot over the last few months. And the reason I'm wanting to bring it up today is that I don't really see any of our clients really using tags very much, or if they are, they're sort of using tags out of the box. So Mads, maybe if you could just go to the Pooka Co contact record on CiviCRM. So you'll probably know that tags in CiviCRM are these kind of words or phrases that you could add to contact records, and they appear right there at the top right-hand corner on the summary page of a contact record in Civi. So they're really useful to see at a glance things that, characteristics that a particular contact has. Maybe they're a major donor, maybe they're a volunteer, and you want your staff or volunteers, when they bring up that record, to see that immediately and sort of know, how to treat or talk to that particular contact. Out of the box, a lot of people just sort of use the basic tag sets, and the problem with that is that they either get, you get this massively long kind of list of tags that you're adding to people. It's hard to find the tag that you're after, and maybe tags kind of straddle different types of kind of areas. It might be about what type of person they are, what sector they work in, what their attitude to our organisation is. And actually tag sets can be a really handy way of organising tags in a slightly better way. And I think often people go straight to custom fields in CiviCRM if they want to add new types of data into contact records. And sometimes tag sets can be just a lot easier to use and a lot more prominent out of the box because they do show at that top right-hand corner of the record. So Mads, if we show people where we set up tag sets, so this is under Administer, Custom Data Screens, and Tags. Yeah. So this is the interface where you would set up your tags, and those ones on the left-hand side of the screen that you see, company, government entity, major donor, non-profit, volunteer, these are just all out of the box with CiviCRM. You can delete those, you can add your own, they can be multicolored, but it's just one big pool of words and phrases there that you're using. But what you'll see across the top of that screen there is that we have these various tabs now. And what we've done is set up these different tag sets that apply to different kind of types of tags. So if you click on the sectors tab, then we'll see some tags that I've set up which relate to the sector maybe that a contact works in, so education, finance, health, etc. And what we've done is we've coloured those all a certain colour, so we know that they are kind of a common tag, that they're a similar theme. If you go under attitude, the attitude tag, you'll see that this is another sort of set of tags. And this is about the contact's attitude towards our organisation. Positive, neutral. You can think of your own tag sets, but it's basically a way of grouping tags quite neatly. So if we go back to our Pooka Co record, you'll see that those colours are what appear in the tags in the top right-hand side of those record. So you can kind of see the tags, and the colour of the tag just kind of makes you know what the tag's talking about. And that is then edited under the tags tab on the left-hand side or across the top if you're using the old interface in Civi. So if we go to that tab, you can see that then rather than clustering all of the standard tags together as it does on the left-hand side, instead for these tag sets, you get drop-downs on the right-hand side of the screen. So you get to choose from there, and it's just kind of a better way of guiding, I think, your users when they're using CiviCRM to choose those. They'll know if they haven't chosen a particular sector or attitude, that field will be empty. And you can use multiple tags in each tag set for each contact record as well. These things also appear on an advanced search as well. So if we go to advanced search, you'll see how these tag sets are separated from the normal tag searching. So you've got two new fields there in the search in Civi for sector and attitude, that you can do those searches on those people who have those tag sets. And again, it's just a nice way of separating those from the standard tags in Civi. And it's it just means you don't always have to create a new custom field for this stuff. I think a lot of people also create kind of groups for things like this as well. I mean, groups can be really handy because they have a start date and an end date. Tags don't, they're either on or they're off. But yeah, it's good. I think it's very useful for people because it appears at that top right-hand corner of a contact record. The other thing you can do is you can set up tag sets that apply to different what are called entities in CiviCRM. So you can apply tag sets to activities, for instance. So if we just quickly go back to the Pooka Co contact record, if you still got that. Yeah.
Go to activities.
Go to activities, yes. So we've set up another group of tags which is to do with the topic that an activity covered. So if you go and have a look at that phone call and you click on edit or view, we'll see that particular activity, that phone call, we have a field there which is a topic tag now. So that was a phone call related to fundraising. So you can set up these tag sets, apply them to activities and have them appear for different types of activities as well. It's not fine-grained enough, unfortunately, that you can apply tag sets just to specific types of activity. It's either turned on for all activities or turned off for all activities, but I think it's just a useful thing. I think it's something that's underused in CiviCRM. I've never seen any of our clients really using that, but it can be a useful, I think, alternative to using custom fields.